Welcome, dear friends, to tonight's bedtime story. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the stars above guide you into dreams. Each story is filled with magic, kindness, and wonder. Now, snuggle in and let's begin. Tonight's story, The Pied Piper, takes us to the town of Hamelin, where a mysterious piper offers to rid the streets of troublesome rats with his magical flute. But when the townsfolk refuse to keep their promise, his music leads the children away on a journey they will never forget. Let's listen and learn the importance of keeping your word. Long ago, there was a town called Hamelin. It was full of happy people, tall houses, and busy markets. But the town had a terrible problem. Hundreds of rats ran everywhere. They stole food, frightened children, and squeaked in the night. The people begged their mayor for help. The rats were so many that even the cats could not chase them away. They climbed into baskets, chewed shoes, and spoiled the grain. The townspeople grew sad and angry. "We cannot live like this," they cried. "Mayor, you must find a way to save our town." One day, a tall man in colorful clothes came to the town. He carried a long flute tucked under his arm. "I am the Pied Piper," he said. "I can rid your town of rats if you promise to pay me a fair reward." The mayor and the townspeople agreed at once. The Pied Piper stepped into the street, lifted his flute, and began to play. The music was soft and magical, like a song drifting on the wind. The rats stopped in their tracks and twitched their ears. One by one, they turned and began to follow the sound of the flute. Through the streets of Hamelin, the piper walked, and behind him marched all the rats. Big rats, small rats, brown rats, and gray rats all followed the music. The townspeople gasped in amazement, watching from their windows. "The piper is saving us," they whispered. The piper led the rats all the way to the riverbank. Still playing his tune, he stepped aside. The rats, enchanted by the music, jumped into the water one by one. Soon, the river was full, and not a single rat was left in the town of Hamelin. The people of Hamelin cheered with joy. They danced in the streets, free at last from the noisy rats. The mayor puffed up proudly, as if he himself had solved the problem. But when the piper asked for his reward, the mayor frowned. "We will not pay you so much," he said. The townspeople, who had been so grateful, nodded in agreement with the mayor. "We will give you only a little," they said. The Pied Piper's eyes grew sad. "You promised me a fair reward," he said. "It is not right to break a promise." But the mayor waved his hand and turned away. The piper walked through the town square, his face thoughtful and sorrowful. He had done his work with honesty, but the people had treated him unfairly. "Perhaps they must learn a lesson," he whispered to himself. The next morning, the piper returned. He lifted his flute again and played a new tune. This time, the music was light and playful, like a skipping game. From their homes, the children of Hamelin came running. Laughing and clapping, they followed the piper through the streets. Boys and girls of all ages skipped behind him, enchanted by the music. They twirled and giggled, their eyes shining. The parents watched in surprise, but by the time they realized, the piper and the children were already marching out of the town gates. The piper led the children up a hill toward a great mountain. As he played, the mountain opened with a hidden door. The piper walked inside with the children, and the door closed behind them. Only one small child, who could not walk fast, was left behind to tell the tale. The parents wept bitterly when they saw what had happened. They had lost their children because they broke their promise. The mayor hung his head in shame. The townspeople realized too late that they had been unfair and dishonest to the piper. From that day on, the people of Hamelin remembered the Pied Piper. They learned that promises must be kept, and kindness repaid with fairness. The children never returned, but the story was told again and again as a warning. And so, the piper's tune reminded the town that a promise broken can carry the heaviest cost of all. With that, our story comes to an end. May your dreams be filled with kindness and wonder. Good night, little dreamers. Until next time, sweet dreams under the stars.